Spider live, loud and proud as we've been alternating today to head down towards the podiums. Well done, Sean Harris, the ultimate professional. Don't you love him, guy? This gentleman, folks, he's politely over 40, all right? That's all I'm saying, politely over 40. Been around a long time, 30 years of being involved in motorcycle sport. We love him. Yes, indeed, that Isle of Man win, but more importantly, his Isle of Man knock on heaven's door was just unbelievable a few years ago. To think that he's come back and he's still got an aim and ambition and still wants to get back to the Isle of Man. That is the coverage, that's the motivation for the man. When you've had so many injuries and you've got so much to fight back, to live for his wife and family, that he wants to go back and still do the unfinished business at the Isle of Man. I think it's just amazing, and it's why you're seeing a guy at politely over 40 years of age still on the track and still performing as the ultimate professional he's been for so long. Well done, Sir Sean Harris. Well done. Away we go. 33 down on the inside, and Andy McLaughlin looking at another great start on the affordable storage. Suzuki RG50 hasn't come all the way from Auckland just for the lovely weather and the great hospitality in this beautiful Mike Perra Motorsport Park venue. But here it is, out for the glory at the moment now. If ever there was a class that will feel the wind today, it will be these guys right about now through Flexiblas, and they'll be going right at that point where you come around. That will be straight into the wind. It's probably the hardest part of the track, so it's like hitting a handbrake for these guys. They'll probably think like they're a drag machine and the parachute's just gone out the back as they now come round through a pothole and head down towards the hairpin. A good opportunity now to see that they will probably be still pretty much head on to it, but with a slight advantage, and about 3/4 of the way through the hairpin, of course, they'll be almost like getting a boost now as they launch out of that corner and get away. So HPE hairpin, and some nice work there as we watch them get away. Matt Hugenboesen with the lap record in this class. They didn't touch his time of yesterday. In fact, I'll go as far as to say that Matt Hugenboesen development class record of 5 years ago, I think is going to stick forever. That's my personal belief. I don't think it'll be bettered. Now, we won't be around long enough to be proven it, and I don't know whether these bikes will be around long enough to try and do any better. Providing it's still treated as a development class, providing they're still not allowed to have slick tyres or any major mega performance enhancements, I think it's going to be there to stick. And our thoughts with Matt at the moment, and let's hope he's, well, we know he'll be in very good care. Hope he's on his way to a very quick recovery and back on a racetrack soon. So nice to have the Hugenboesen support here today, and our thoughts and feelings with the family, and hope all's well for Matt. An uncharacteristic, well, in fact, it was uncharacteristic. He's involved in a crash. It wasn't even his fault this morning. So nice to see. All right, Trevor Pearce Motorcycles, of course. Trevor Pearce, Canterbury's motorcycle destination store. Yamaha revs your heart. Phone 366 65 63 at 156 Ferry Road, Christchurch. tpyamaha.co.nz. Yes, indeed, you're at the Underground Brown New Zealand Motorcycle Grand Prix, round number 1 of the NZSBK Superbikes, and a big thanks to Underground Brown, South Island's leading resource for directional drilling and trenchless contracting. Yes, we're boring as we get them going across the line for the first time, and it's Chris Sutcliffe in the lead. Andy McLaughlin, the man who won yesterday, back into second place at a difference of 1.085 with Brian Ashworth in there. Some seasoned names from some of the older guys that still enjoy this development lineup. Called development class from the adult point of view, it's much about developing these people to still have the opportunity to race. These machines, of course, many people have purchased these for under $2,000. When the Suzuki RG150 was bold, proud and available as a new bike on the market more than 15 years ago, it was a $2,000 motorcycle. It was just unbelievable, and everybody was buying them, and what it did was all of a sudden people could very cheaply turn them into a moto machine, as we're witnessing here. But more importantly, all of a sudden, instead of that bike losing so much of depreciation like many new motorcycles do, there was an aftermarket for them to get back on racetracks everywhere around the country. I had a friend of mine who had one, and let me take it for a spin. I actually thought that the choke was on this thing because it just wouldn't idle, it wouldn't do anything. Why wouldn't it idle? Of course, it wasn't made to idle, it was made just to rev, but going around town, you didn't want to make it. Seemed like you were doing 11,000 RPM, but what a great machine they were. 150cc, you thought, oh, they're only around town commuting. No way. You took them out on the street, out on the road and opened up the throttle, and man, they performed, and they've long been performing in a great little motorcycle. And of course, there's a number of them as well that we've got. We've got the KR150s in there, we've got Ninja 250s as well, so there is now a little bit of a mix. And of course, with the 150 Suzuki, there was actually a 2-stroke and a 4-stroke motorcycle, so there was both of them were available, so it made that little point of difference between them. So here we go, the teenagers and the 20 and overs as well, bucket racing as it's sometimes referred to. Trevor Pearce Motorcycles, development class, Spider, congratulations, great interview, but the response from Sean Harris, mate, you must have been burnt by the heat off his smile, weren't you?
Oh, mate, he was just about swallowing his ears, and you know how far he looks like Dave Dobbins sometimes, and they're old wiry, they're crusty old ears. That's why they call him a gremlin. But it's really good to see a man of that calibre come back from an injury like that. And a lot of people, you know, he's had a bang on the head. He's sometimes he talks a little shorthand in that, but to see him come back and run a cool race and on an older bike and one that he's worked on himself and get that sponsorship going, man, that is the highlight of my weekend so far. Look at that battle over the back towards the Icon corner. Now Chris Sutcliffe has just come in from the last race on his TZR250, handed over bikes and got to this, so he knows exactly what the wind conditions are like. He knows everything, but we've got to change a position as we say that. Andy McLaughlin, number 33 machine, just goes into that hairpin quicker, but did it change again, Liam? I think it changed again.
I think it did, because all of a sudden you saw one going into overtake and it just darted back the other way. So I think at one stage we probably had about the depth of the front tyre off the rim, so you're probably talking 40 millimetres for the change of placing there as they went back the other way and quickly to get an advantage, but all over each other. And again, Spider, as we were talking about just prior to you coming back into the box, was the fact that these guys will be affected by the wind more than anybody. And just take it at a point when you go right through the Christchurch casino carousel like that, you're going to go into it at a point where you've got a tailwind and you're going to have then start to have a crosswind and you almost come out of it and have a headwind. So certainly these guys will be feeling all the effects of nature thrown at them today, as well as this kind of racing where they're stuck together like glue. And great to see down through the Dunlop Dipper with our Trevor Pearce Motorcycles development class. And I think that's still, we've got it at the moment, Andy just over Chris, is it? Have we gone back the other way?
No, I think it's Andy out in the front, but I'll tell you what, the last lap they was less than a tenth of a second between it, and they've been glued to each other the whole lap, except for a couple of changes of position over at Icon, just past Icon into the hairpin, and they bumped bearings. I think they bumped wheelbase coming down the front straight. No love lost here. Back in behind, it's number 86, Chris Sutcliffe from Timaru in behind to get more of that slipstream. Can he pull out and go under brakes here? Remember, this will be the hardest class to match in terms of speed, because one little mistake there and you lose so much driving, especially the windy conditions. So I take that off to both of these riders who are just doing everything so perfectly. Big battle going on there for third and fourth as well. Jack Condon's moved up over above, well, Phil Dillon, Brent Cotton, Paul Skinner, Jacob Pearce, Vanessa Woodley-Gill, Lance Double, Jackson Cotton, Ben Wilson and Graham Boyd have all moved up one spot, as we see Brian Ashworth, number 49, moving down. So he's a DNF somewhere along the line. Not sure whether he's off the bike or parked up. Haven't seen any yellow flags.
And a little bit of luck to see young Caleb Guy as well. Caleb has dropped back in the results also, so he had a better one on yesterday. Vanessa Gill, want to point out the fact that yes indeed we've got ladies in our racing game, and the number 95 of Vanessa well placed in amongst them. So Trevor Pearce Motorcycles in our development field, mixing up the juniors and the seniors as well there, Spider. So the junior point should be noted for young Jack Condon out there, as Jack at this stage pretty sure is the man out of our junior lineup, and the Christchurch youngster the best place, because Chris Sutcliffe's certainly not a young man out there.
No, it's 50 shades of grey from just about all the boys in the Timaru race. SOF, silly old fools they call themselves. So yeah, no, the Timaru racing team's pretty well 50 shades of grey and 50 shades of class as well. But there's still that massive battle out the front, although there has been a bit of a separation there, and Andy McLaughlin's maybe got half a second over above Chris Sutcliffe. But looking further down to the battle there for third and fourth, the green machine versus the black machine there. They're coming in towards the dipper just a quarter before. That is third and fourth. That is Jack Condon and Phil Denovan. Sorry, I haven't recognised the colours, so I don't know which one's in front at the moment. We'll have to keep you up on that.
The number 8 is Jack, so Jack we've got there, so Jack has actually slipped back one, so but it won't matter because he's still the leading teenage junior development rider. Keen to point out for those showing their age, My Three Sons, it used to be Bill Hoogie that would own that bit of music all to his own, My Three Sons, but of course Andrew Stroud can do it as well with My Three Sons. And to point out of course that we've had Jacob just doing a second place, and we've got Caleb and Jesse out in this class as well, so they're a couple of youngsters, and for those boys this is their first endeavour to be racing here at Ruapuna. So I think it's just fantastic that we've now got not just an Andrew Stroud show as we've had the Dominate with 9 titles, but also My Three Sons and Jacob, Jesse and Caleb, and from Grant down there, Spider, a white flag as well. So we're on their last lap. And speaking about the buff, the sign that's just there, Canterbury Car Club, of course they've got their big car meet here next weekend, so for motorsports fans, the real big one. And then of course the bigger event, well bigger by numbers but not quite by status, is of course the Scope Classic Historical event is on Waitangi weekend. So a feast of great motorsport action right here at Mike Perra Motorsport Park.
Actually, there's something that I forgot to do so far this weekend. I missed yesterday's development race, but I really wanted to see how Caleb Stroud could actually start the motorbike, because I don't even think he could stand next to it. He was tiptoeing the pits, and the questions were, so I must have a look at the video footage. You can go back through Ctas live timing and have a look at the video footage and see how he actually gets off the line. What's the story with Ctas this year? Normally it's free during the day, but it was a pay later on. I believe it's free now for downloading Ctas later on.
My understanding, yes indeed, Spider. So of course your text and web systems expert. So although you catch them live, loud and proud, if you're wanting to introduce a text system for your business or operation to do sales and advertise the word, you hear it all on the radio every time, give us a text on 5009 or whatever the number might be. So make sure if you want to set yourself up for text and web systems, you go to Ctas, ctas.co.nz, of course specialising in our live commentary updates, and of course opportunity as well to view those results as the checkered flag goes out, and a nice little run through there, and well done to Andy at 3.2 seconds, and Spider, as always, we'd like to try and do 15 jobs at once, but we just missed it. Why for some reason all of a sudden that went to 3 seconds. It'd have been lucky at sometimes to be only 3.2 seconds, so that had extended in Andy's favour, so he's done it like he did it yesterday. Phil Denevin out there and still looking to Jack Condon on the green bike. There goes Jack, so he will be a young junior winner. Now that's a nicely presented bike and the rider. Some of the other bikes, Spider, are looking like they've been a development bike, all right? Not just the fact that it's generally based around development riders, but some of them are developing bikes. But nice to see that you can still get a